Going to recite our vision and our mission. Please, can we recite it together? To be the most trusted and innovative real estate group in Nigeria, known for excellency, integrity, and sustainable value creation. Let's go again. To be the most trusted and innovative real estate group in Nigeria, known for excellence, integrity, and sustainable value creation. And our mission, let's go, to deliver high value real estate solution that inspires trust, growth, and satisfaction for our clients and our partners. Can we clap for ourselves? So we are going to start now. Please turn off your phone. Avoid every other side distraction. Please pay attention to whatever we are going to be doing here. And second, what's happening here? Please, let's be coordinated. Avoid any side distractions. Quick about leadership and networking in real estate. Today we are going to be talking about the rules and regulations and laws that guide. So that being said, we come upon the with that being said, to call upon the speaker for the manager winners. Can we give her a round of applause, please?
Let's arrange ourselves properly, please. Conke magnet. Have one particular law that will bring organization, that will bring coordination into the real estate industry. So that gave rise to the Land Use Act in 1978. Okay, let's read further. Prior to 1978, the land tenure system in Nigeria was inconsistent and unclear. Different regions operated under various laws and practices, meaning that maybe in the East, they have their own real estate law guiding them. In the South, They have their own real estate law guiding them. So there wasn't this unity or organization when it comes to real estate transaction, giving rise to so many scam and all of that back then. But this brought some level of organization in real estate investment and transaction. Let's move further. The North largely followed Islamic and customary law, while the South of Nigeria used a mix of English common law and customary law. Now you can see a lot of diversities. Definitely nothing can thrive under such situation. Let's read further. At the same time, Eastern Nigeria had a largely firm communal land ownership custom, tradition, and practices. This clearly made land administration confusing, unequal, and inconsistent, and ultimately led to many land disputes, which were difficult to settle because there was no consistent law in reference. Next slide. This happened for over 17 years. Wow, that was quite a long time. This happened for over 17 years after Nigeria came together under one umbrella on 1st of October 1916. In response to these issues, and the cry of many, the Land Use Act was enacted on March 29, 1978 by General Olusegun Obasanjo. So now we know the origin of the Land Use Act. How many of us have been hearing about the Land Use Act? We've heard about it a lot. Okay, so now we all know the origin if you want to know. The goal was to unify every part of the country, reduce land speculation, ensure easier access to land, as many Nigerians couldn't afford or access lands, and to make land available for public and economic development when needed by the government. So even the government was a victim of this chaos in the real estate industry. Okay, let's read further. In fact, this was a very critical part of the reason for enactment of the act, because even the government couldn't freely have access to land to build infrastructure like roads, hospitals, parks, and airports. But today, it's different, right? All the lands in the states, all the lands in the 36 states and the FCT belongs to who? It belongs to who? It belongs to the government. It belongs to the government. Yes. Okay, let's read further. Now, what does this act state? This is an act. This is exactly what act states, and this is what comprised in the territory of each state, except land vested in the federal government or its agencies, solely in the governor of the state, who shall hold such land in trust for the people. So that land you paid for last month, it still belongs to the government, right? Okay. Now, this simply means that in all the 36 states of Nigeria, including FCT, every land belongs to the government. Here in Enugu, all the lands here belongs to who? The governor, right? Except this part, it says except land in federal government, in the federal government or its agencies. The only land that doesn't belong to the state governor are those places where federal have their, ministries or properties. You get. So I believe this is understandable. Any question from this before we proceed? Okay, sir. Okay, the land belongs to the government as it is stated in the Land Use Act. To the governor, yes. The governor is part of the government. Okay. He said? C of O. It belongs to stated. This is exactly how the act is stated. This is exactly how it. I don't know if we remove this. There's a quote quote, meaning that it is stated exactly this way. All right, next slide. Now, what is the role of law in real estate? The law guarantees safety. The law guarantees security for your money, safety for you as a realtor, safety for you as the safety for you've taken. That transaction is not sustainable if there is a problem or if you don't understand what you have just sold to your client. Now, these three words are the pillars that uphold any lasting real estate investment deal. So, as a realtor, please, whenever you want to sell, ask yourself, is this transaction safe? Is it secure? And is it sustainable? Is it something that will, bring profit, not just profit? Is it something that will last long? Is it something that will build legacy for the person buying and for myself as well? Okay, next slide. Now, globally, real estate law is learned or passed before any realtor or broker is licensed or registered to practice. In developed countries, right, before you practice, before you call yourself a realtor, or before you say I'm a real estate advisor, there must be something to show. You must have a license, you must have a certificate that could renew either yearly. I don't know how they do it there, but because Nigerian system is like this, which I believe is favoring some of us, because most of us will not be here, right? If you have to go through a process, you have to obtain license, which you may not be able to afford as a beginner. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Now, Nigerian system, to an extent, to a large extent, is favoring a lot of us, because you can be doing your business and still be seeing real estate without a license. Okay? So while our government is still coming to that level of this developed country, of these developed countries, while our system, while our country as a whole is still coming to that level, please make the best out of what you have currently, because the system, although it's not well put together, but at least it's favoring us, right? Okay. All right. They said you have to have a license because they see it as integral to real estate. The legal framework of real estate is essential for protecting clients, ensuring ethical transactions, and complying with government regulations, which is not bad. But then that is why we here at Hughes Group are taking it upon ourselves to practice, to sell. We went beyond that to giving you proper knowledge. That is why this training is organized. Can we celebrate Hughes Group that, please? It's not easy. That we had to take it further, take it higher by equipping us with the proper certain direct or indirect legal responsibilities. Is this part clear? Although if you are caught up in real estate, if you are caught in that situation, ignorant or not ignorant, you are definitely going in for it. And most times, most realtors are not even aware. They just feel it's about buying, selling, and making money off of real estate transactions. It goes beyond that. Because we don't have a consistent system or regulation guiding realtors and the transactions they do in the country, doesn't remove the consequences attached if you cause harm in terms of fraud or scam a client. You may not even know, because I believe most of us doesn't want money that will bring issues, unless you intentionally or outrightly wanted to scam. But most realtors are caught up in that situation because they are ignorant. Most of them don't even know how to read documents or interpret documents most times. So they sell lands that are in dispute without even knowing, in their innocence, right? So this is what it's saying. Although that the system is not yet there in Nigeria, but it doesn't still take out the fact that if you're being reported, if you are part of a scheme like that, you will not go in for it. Definitely you will go in for it. Now, one of such responsibility as someone into real estate, as a realtor, someone that sells property, is the duty of care. There is something called duty of care in real estate, and it is expected of you. That is your primary responsibility as a realtor. Once say whether real estate is your side job or your main job, you have the responsibility of doing a duty of care. You have to, get involved in that, because that is your primary responsibility. Duty of care simply entails you putting yourself in the shoes of the person paying or the buyer, whoever you have brought to buy. The duty of care expects you to imagine yourself as the person. The duty of care expects you to think like the person, to have the emotions the person is feeling. Emotions like fear, pain, okay, empathy. You have to do empathy for the person. Put yourself in the person's shoes. Ask yourself, if I'm the one that is with this 20 million now, aside the commission I will get, this is just what the duty of care is asking of you as a realtor. If I'm the person, if I'm this my client I've brought now that has this 20 million naira to pay, will I buy this land? Is it a good investment? With your experience and your knowledge as a realtor, put yourself in that person's shoe. If it's a good investment and you advise the person and tell the person, look, this investment is a good investment, you have carried out the duty of care as expected of you under Nigerian law guiding real estate. Okay, now let's see what the duty of care is properly. Now, what is this duty of care? The duty of care in real estate means that a realtor doesn't just apply to realtors, it applies to real estate companies, it applies to real estate agencies, it to brokers, developers, anybody in the line of this business. The duty of care is expected of you, because what people are bringing to the table, what people are giving you in exchange of the property, either land or building, are their hard-earned money. So you owe them that responsibility to be them for a while. Step out from the shoes of being a seller to collect profit to the shoes of being a buyer. Okay. Now, the duty of care in Nigeria means that a realtor or broker or developer, in brackets, real estate practitioner, has a legal and professional obligation to reasonably act and carry out any real estate transaction with diligence. The due diligence, some of us feel that diligence is for clients alone. When they come and ask you, how is this property? Does it have any issue? You think the due diligence is just for them. The due diligence is for them and for you as well, because when you know the property you're selling legally beyond what you're being told, when you go the extra mile in that due diligence, we all know what due diligence is, right? Who doesn't know what due diligence is? We are in class. Who doesn't know what due diligence is? Okay. Now, due diligence is simply you carrying out, being cautious, taking precautionary measures. How? Going to the ministry, doing your search, asking questions, doing community verifications. If it's a property that cannot be traced to the ministry, it's something called community verification. That is a local way of doing a property search. People do that. Okay. Now, that is you doing your due diligence. Have you asked questions, or you just came and they told you this property is this, and you said, okay. Sometimes you can do that based on the level of trust you have for a person or a company, okay? But on your own part, try going the extra mile, because you're trying. If you are the one with the money, won't you go the extra mile? So why does due diligence apply only to the person buying? It should also apply to you as the person selling. Okay, now let's read further. Where did we stop? Okay. Honesty, please. If a land doesn't have what is it called? Is it good road, access road? If a land doesn't have access road, be honest. I know that in this business sometimes you have to if 100% load has started looking you. For instance, you tell someone it's just a 5 minutes drive. Our time no dey pass 5 minutes drive. It's always 5 minutes drive from the airport. So please, instead of you to tell the person 5 minutes drive, when you know that it's 20 minutes, 15 minutes drive from where the major road, please just tell the person it's a few minutes drive and encourage the person to come for inspection. It's better you didn't give the person a particular time, okay, than you mention the time and the person now comes with that expectation. The person will now be, I had a real are we not building questions in the mind of the person? So it's better you don't even say that person just sees it when he or she comes than you now trying to defend property you're marketing as a realtor, as an agent, as a developer. It is important you do your due diligence. That is applying caution as well. And empathy. Empathy comes in feeling what the person buying is feeling. That feeling of uh, concern. Is this a good investment? It's better for you to see or think like the person buying. That is you expressing empathy. I understand how you feel, sir, but this is what makes this a good investment. You try to clear the person because you've done your due diligence, you've taken caution, you've explained based on your knowledge of that property. It's now left for you to step into the person's shoe and feel what he or she is feeling and then still advise the person from there. That is you being empathic about the transaction about to take place. Okay. Now, in other words, and caution. If I'm the one spending the money, if I'm the one about to spend this 50 million on this property, will I do this? Will I that? That is you thinking like the person who is a buyer. Is this clear? Okay. Please, if you have to call my attention back. Next slide. Okay. I think I've explained what I when presenting a client for any real estate transaction, whether in the capacity of a buyer, seller, landlord, or tenant, the realtor must protect the client's interests, avoid negligence, and do everything possible to avoid intentionally causing financial or legal harm. Okay, I've explained this part. The average realtor may not deliberately, this part is very important. The average realtor may not deliberately want to cause any damage. I mean, nobody wants trouble, right? You just want to do real estate, make the much you can, and live your life and live that dream life you've always wanted to. So there is no realtor in the business that is out there except those that are intentionally out to scam people. But if you are genuinely in the business, I believe that you may not deliberately want to cause any damage to the client. But however, most of the time, because the system is not fully regulated, as I explained before, the issue is that many realtors are ignorant of the law. Now you see why these other developed countries ensure and is that you must go through the process before calling yourself a realtor. Because if you go through that process, if you go through that training, if you go through those teachings, definitely you will get the knowledge, you will get the right information, you will know the law that guides real estate, and that will properly help you to guide someone else that has millions to invest. Most times realtors make mistake out there. They don't even know what and what. They just know that this line here 5 minutes away. They just, that is the end. That is just where their knowledge. Someone with that kind of knowledge cannot help you make. Definitely, if someone like that is your real estate advisor, I mean, I wonder what he or she will be advising. So that is why in these other developed countries, they make sure that you know what you're doing. And that is why, that is what you are trying to, build here. We want everybody affiliated to Hills Group to know what he or she is doing in the industry. Okay. Now, if realtors should go through trainings like this, definitely they will have the right knowledge. They will know how to guide people, the right investment. They will know how to make the right decisions. They will know how to guide their clients to make the right decision when it comes to real estate investment. So that is what this part is just trying to say. Okay. Where did I stop? Okay. The issue is that many of us are ignorant of the law and what it truly means to be professional. Many people don't know what it takes to be a professional before calling the professional. Many of them don't know. But nevertheless, on this, ignorant or not, I said that before, whether you're ignorant or not, this duty of care is Nigerian law. So whether you're ignorant of it or not, if you violate it, go in for the consequences. Okay? Duty of care still applies in Nigeria. This particular part is very valid in Nigeria. You will not know how you won't know how Nigeria works until maybe you commit a crime, right? Until maybe you commit a crime. That is when you know if our justice system is working or not. So please be aware that the duty of care is applicable in Nigeria. It applies in Nigeria. Okay, next slide. I think that's where. All right. So the elements of the duty of care. These are the